Hey, Uncle Buck. Hey, Nutmeg. Evening all. Hey, Donna. This music sucks. Buttercup, yeah. Buttercup's favorite game. I don't think this is bad music. I don't think the music's bad. It's a joke, Nutmeg, but Buttercup hates this game. Buttercup hates this game and hates me for playing it. You're in an elevator? Yeah, it's just chill, classical inspired music. Waiting to die. Are we sure Nutmeg isn't Buttercup's alt? I feel like it's decent music. Hey, that's a rude thing to say about Buttercup. Don't call her that. That's not cool, Nutmeg. Be a good handle. Not... Oh... Would YouTube allow it? Would YouTube actually allow that as a handle? Warm, flaky, buttery croissant. That you stick your dick in? Makes you think of strawberries. Though in her case, it's not really, it's not butter, it's yeast. If anything, hers would probably be closer to, like, yogurt, wouldn't it? Has a nasty hemorrhoid today. Shaved it off with a straight razor. I hope Shelly gets here soon so I can start the game. And we stop talking about vaginas and hemorrhoids and... Hey, Buttercup! That salt on that I heard feels great. And citrus, too. Nothing for a gaping wound quite like some citrus. Shelly! Now we can get started. The two people who care about this game are here, so we can get started. hopefully we can finish the lycée route today. You know, we're in the new year. Only like 2 weeks left in the route. Because January 20th, I believe, is the end. I woke up unusually early in the morning today, and my feet headed for school by reflex. The first thing I had to do was report to Ms. Cordell. After hearing Lise say the word partner that night for the first time, I'd made up my mind. According to the clock, it was 15 minutes before the first period of lessons. She wasn't in the room, perhaps she'd stepped out. But the door was unlocked, so I knew she'd return soon. She didn't have any more one-on-one lessons starting today, but she was always stationed here, to instruct students who came as necessary. In addition, she was also supposed to be here for her own students. I didn't think I'd have a chance to play the Fortell for her, so I hadn't brought my case. Just as I was running out of ways to pass the time, the door opened.
Chris ka?
Oh, it's you, Chris. Good morning.
Ohayo. 約束は覚えていたようだな。
Morning. It seems you remembered our arrangement. Yes, that's what I'm here to talk about.
よくやったな。候補だった生徒には私からきちんと話しておこう。
Hey, Holly. Well done. I'll explain everything to the backup candidate, whose services will no longer be needed. I haven't even said anything yet. How did you know?
顔を見ればな。何年君の担当をしていると思ってる？
Your face says it all. How many years have I been in charge of you? Almost 2, I suppose.
あ、こうなったからには私から言えることは少ない。
Yes. From this point on, there's not much for me to say. Then she smiled.
本番は頑張るように。それまではあまりここに来ない方がいい。
Do your best for the performance. Try not to come here until then. Understood. I won't bother you.
それは構わない。ただ、先生が時々ここに来るからな。
That's fine. But I'll be using this room from time to time. Is that so?
特別授業の枠がまだ残っているんだ。生徒はいなくなったがね。
Some special classes are still being held. Not that I have any students left, though. I see. Will you do something in the lecture rooms?
さあな。作曲でもしているんだろう。私が学生の頃も講義中によくそんなことをしていた。
Who knows? Perhaps I'll compose. I used to do that all the time during lectures when I was a student. Ms. Cordell sounded wistful. From her demeanor, it didn't look like Ms. Cordell had a bad impression of Grave. If you ignored his demanding attitude toward music, perhaps he was a decent person after all. Probably not. He's still rich. He's still rich, he's awful. Eat the rich. For that very reason, if our graduation recital performance was noteworthy, Lise's song might gain his recognition.
それで、今日はフォルテールは持ってきていないのか？
Anything else? I see you didn't bring your fortel today. I came only to deliver my report.
きちんと練習はしているか？
Over to be flufful. Exactly. Except Dolly Parton. Yo, like, when the rich are lined against the wall, Dolly Parton won't be there. Dolly Parton will be the only one allowed to be like, no, you're cool. You're fine. forget who it was. Exactly. Don't fuck with Dolly Parton, yeah. I forget who it was. There's a meme. Somebody was talking, like... talking about how hard it'll be to, like... put this one celebrity against the wall. And then the celebrity responded with, like, fair. It's like, I appreciate it. Are you taking practice seriously? Of course. Besides, if I'm here too often, I might get you in trouble. After all, you're supposed to be unaware of it, right?
練習をサボるのにいい言い訳だな。
She might work 9 to 5, but she's a badass 24/7, yeah. That's a good excuse to skip practice. Ms. Cordell smiled, bringing the conversation to an end with that joke.
では、何かあったらいつでも来るといい。
Come back if anything happens. Thank you. I bowed deeply and left the classroom. It was still early, but Lise would only come to my room after the end of classes. There was nothing for me to do in school, so I decided to go home. In my room, I played the Fortel aimlessly while waiting for Lise. But it was already way past the end of classes. As a first year, I had homeroom and such, so I really went home right after classes, but even taking that into account, it was late. What's going on?
来ないね。
I don't think she's coming. Hovering about the Fortel, Forney sounded quite bored. She had met Lise on the night of Natal, but for my sake, perhaps, she didn't show herself at all then. Furthermore, Forney hadn't heard Lise singing yet. I tried to describe how great it was, but she'd understand so much more if she just heard it once. That's why I wanted Forney to hear it as soon as possible, but... well, let's wait a bit longer. With that, I placed my fingers on the Fortel. Actually, I hadn't played that song for Forney yet. I figured it wouldn't mean very much without Lise's voice. So I picked other songs and performed some ensembles with Forney. It was really getting quite late. Strange. Yeah. Forney was also getting worried. I knew where her house was after walking her home last time, and many times I thought of going to get her. Got the good stuff? Yay, Uncle Buck! But it was probable that we'd miss each other. That was even more likely since she'd come here once she finished whatever it was she was doing. Oh, well, there you go. Ah, coming! That was probably Lise. Opening the door in a hurry.
ごめんなさい。
I'm sorry. Lise? Lise was standing in front of the door looking very pained. I could tell at a glance that she wasn't feeling well, so I hurried her into the room, just like last time. Then Lise raised one hand to show me something she was carrying. Catherine! Thank you for 10 gift memberships, Catherine! Congratulations to Who's Your Hippie Denise? Who's your hippie Denise? One True Zarina. Heel-moth Foot. Spicy Glass Noodles. Patio Flam. 99 Fupas. But a itch ain't one. Belladonna, Courtney Knight, Marshmallow, and Dreams. Okay, rummaging went well, and I'm hitting the spots I missed last through the week. Nice, nice. Glad to hear that. Front screen. Uncle Buck is still blue because she's a mod. Pretty sure mod overrides member in terms of coloration. So, Uncle Buck, the only non-green here. You're blue. Da-ba-dee-da-ba-da. At home, smash dinner, now need a few minutes before shower. The rest of the night is... You gaming and reading? Special, yep. Fucking fly in my room. Not just a fruit fly, but a proper fly. Ugh. Fucking hate that shit. Alright. Then Lisa raised one hand to show me something she was carrying. It was the umbrella I'd forced her to accept last time. Core memory activated. You've been using it. On closer inspection, I noticed that the umbrella was dripping wet, while she was relatively dry. Anyway, go inside. What's your memory, Catherine?
Hi.
Okay. I made her sit down and prepared a warm drink for her. And just like last time, I asked her for a reason. So, what happened this time? Why is your neck bandaged? Oh shit, I didn't even notice that. Well, her throat seemed to be causing her a lot of pain. Every time Lisa tried to speak, she'd cough and screw up her face in agony, so she gave up and wrote out what she wanted to say instead. Apparently, Lisa had caught a cold. It had gone down to her throat, making her almost unable to speak. Seeing her in front of me, I could feel how much she was suffering. In any case, the bandage around her neck was packed full of an herbal remedy that was good for sore throats, apparently. So you caught a cold? Lisa finished writing and nodded emphatically. Her throat still looked painful, but it was better than I thought at first. Daddy choked her for singing. I mean, I was thinking that might be a possibility. As long as she didn't say anything, she seemed fine. Hey, Buttercup. Then why did you come? Like I said last time, you shouldn't force yourself. Lisa shook her head. And then she continued writing. If I don't talk, it's okay. And we agreed to meet up today, so I thought you'd be worried. This is exactly the same conversation we had last time. Do you have a fever too? Lisa shook her head, but I put my palm on her forehead anyway. Looks like you don't have one. That's a relief.
ねえ、歌えないの?
Hey, so she can't sing? I couldn't answer her now, but Forney, who had been quiet until then, asked in dismay. Without Lisa noticing, I looked at Forney and nodded. Well, there's no way we can practice today. Lisa showed me what she'd written. I want to hear you play the Fortell, Chris. She choked on musical I'd planned to play it anyway, and I'd practiced with Forney earlier, so I was ready. But it felt a little sad to play without Lisa singing. I didn't feel that way when practicing by myself, but having her next to me made it apparent. Sure, why not? The same as always? Forney nodded and sat down in front of the Fortell.
歌はないんだ。けど、まあいいか。
There won't be any singing, but that's fine. Here we go. Forney had seemed a little upset, but perhaps her mood improved, because she moved to the desk to hear the sound of the Fortell more clearly, was off to a good start. I hadn't heard Lisey's voice at all recently, and started to miss it the more I played. Lisey held a cafe latte in one hand as she listened, while Forney, for some reason, was looking at me in surprise. My fingers were moving smoothly, while my mind was somewhere distant. Thinking about Lisey. Got an instrument we can blow. Saxophone? Sax is a pretty sexy instrument. I'd say sax is like top 3 sexiest instruments. You know, the sax, the bass is really sexy. A good bass is a very sexy instrument. Anyway. Smooth. Yeah. Good bass is so smooth. Thinking about Lisey. To put it in words, very simply, I felt many things for her, all of which I surrendered to music. I played, not according to the composer's intentions, but while investing the piece with my own will. Haha, I got you, fucker! One of the most satisfying feelings in the world is getting a fruit fly with one hand. Yeah, like when you manage to kill it just with one hand. Oh, feels so good. Hi, Tink. I just killed a fruit fly with one hand, so I'm feeling fucking great. Like when you grab it out of the air, I mean, like when you just like grab a fruit fly out of the air. So cool. During the songs that followed, Forney seemed to get into the groove and even started to sing. There were songs that I'd practiced many times with Forney, songs I'd practiced less often with Val, and amid all this, time flew by. Phew, I guess that'll do. Thank you very much. Lisey wrote that out very neatly and bowed while remaining seated. You're welcome. Today's performance was great. This was my first time hearing your song, but it was like I could hear someone else singing. Really? I suddenly remembered that Forney had been singing, but until now no one else had ever been able to hear her voice. Besides, she hadn't reacted when Forney was speaking to me, so perhaps it was just a feeling she had. Never mind. You should be getting home soon, shouldn't you? Lisey gave a little start when she looked at the clock. Not good, huh? It's late. I'll walk you home. Lisey shook her head, but I ignored her and got ready to head out. Alright, let's go. Sharing the umbrella, the two of us walked through the city at night. When we reached the main street, Lisey's house was just a short distance away, but we had gotten closer. Her foot seemed much better now, and she was walking normally, almost. Our shoulders were nearly touching as we continued walking, silently, towards Lisey's house. Okay, guess I'll head back now. I did all the talking, so at least I wouldn't have to say anything. I also decided to sketch out our schedule for the coming days. You probably can't sing for a while, though. Don't speak, just nod or shake your head. I'll ask yes or no questions. Lise nodded once. What should we do about practice until then? You can't dance with that, huh? Until you recover, we can't go without practice, right? Nod. Practice rooms at school? Head shake. Maybe we should take a break? Head shake. My room? Nod. She just wants to be alone with me. In that case, come whenever you want to. I'll run errands while you're at school. Lise nodded energetically. Then I'll see you tomorrow?
Huh?
Lise shook her head sadly. You have something to do tomorrow? Nod. I see. Well, even if you came, you'd only be able to hear me play the Fortell anyway. Lise didn't have to move her head that time. She just smiled instead. So the next time you can come over will be Friday? Lise nodded, then waved as she entered her house. She was still holding on to that umbrella. I didn't know if she'd snuck out today too, but I saw her go inside by some unseen path, not the front door, after which I headed home. I'm home.
Okaeri!
Welcome back! Even though it was my second time outside today, Forney had prepared a towel for me, as always. I wiped my hair and body dry, then went inside. It's a shame you didn't get to hear her sing, though. Anywhere out of the rain, you dizzy bitch, you sick? You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
ちょっとね。でも、クリスのフォルテールは聞けたからいいや。
Yes, quite. But I got to hear you play the Fortell, so that's alright. You hear it all the time, don't you?
あの曲は初めてだったでしょ?
Not that song. That was the first time you played it. True. So, how was it?
あれって、恋の歌?
I know, Buttercup, I know. Is it a love song? Huh?
よくわかんないけど、そんな気がしたから。
I can't explain it, but that's the impression I got. I don't think so.
あれ? そうなんだ。よくクリスとアンサンブルしてる曲と似たような感じがあったから。
Hold on, I've got it. It reminds me of a song that we always perform together, Chris, that's why. That's a completely different story?
ま、曲調とかは違うけど、雰囲気っていうのかな。そんなのが似てる気がしただけ。大した意味はないよ。
Well, it has its own melody, but mood, perhaps? I think something like that is similar, that's all. Nothing important. It seemed Forney wasn't making fun of me, but giving her honest opinion instead. Yeah, this game turns Buttercup into a screaming possum. Also, Screaming Possums. Screaming Possums would be a pretty good band name, although I think there is already a band called Screaming Something Else. so... And because it was quite late, she said goodnight and then disappeared. Do you like pixie sticks? I didn't know what business she had to attend to on Thursday, but on both days after that, Lisa came over to my room. Her throat was still recovering, so she wasn't able to sing. Springing fruit flies? In fact, since the day I chose her as my partner, we'd hardly had any practice time together. That was thanks to a series of unfortunate events, from her foot injury and the business she attended to over New Year's to her recent illness. But despite all that, Lisa came over to my room and listened to me play the Fortel. Lisa was supposed to be here this afternoon, too. I was heating up some rusks in the oven for Lisa, who didn't eat much, or maybe she just didn't care about food. The rusks could be eaten normally, but baking them made them crisp and easier to eat. Discounting the times she'd been sick or injured, Lisa was actually very punctual, which was something I'd learned recently. Guess it's about time.
そろそろだね。
Anytime now. She wouldn't get to sing with Lise, but Forney seemed unusually excited. I couldn't keep practicing Lise's song for the whole day, and when I did play something else, that was Forney's turn to sing. Forney's voice was so amazing. It was too bad that only I could hear it. If I could only let Lise hear it, I'm sure her singing would get even better. Coming!
Konnichiwa.
Hey, girl. Good afternoon. Hi, come on in. Leaving her rain-soaked umbrella by the door, Lise went inside. She was definitely using the umbrella I bought for her, because she was completely dry. After recovering from illness, it was wise to take such precautions.
いい匂いがしますね。
Something smells nice. Lise whispered, looking in the direction of the kitchen. Her voice seemed to be much better. Would she be able to sing today, perhaps? Or should we take things a bit more slowly? You didn't eat this morning, right? Raise my lighter and crank my air guitar to that.
Right. でも、そんなにお腹は空いてないですよ。
Right, but I'm not that hungry. Still, you should have something, even a little. I'll eat with you.
はい。
Okay. I made Lise sit down while I prepared a light lunch. This was my first meal of the day too, so I could have had something more substantial, but wanted to have the same amount as Lise. I added 1 part coffee, freshly brewed from the espresso maker, to 3 parts warm milk to make a delicious cafe latte. I placed the baked rusks from the oven on a plate, which I put on the desk. Well, dig in.
はい。いただきます。
When did it start, I wonder? When did we start having such natural conversations? The reserved Lise of before, who always spoke with a slight stutter, was gone. There was no doubt that I had something to do with it, but I hadn't done anything significant. At first, I'd simply improvised accompaniments on the Fortel for her singing. What's a rust? Good question. I'm gonna look that up. Rusk. Hard, dry biscuit or twice-baked bread. In some cultures, rusk is made of cake rather than bread. Hard bread for babies. Yeah, sometimes used as a teether for babies, yeah. Drool catchers. Something like that, I guess. Fuck it, why couldn't that have been a trivia question? I mean, I can try to do a food category tomorrow. We'll see. See if I can find a good food quiz. Come to think of it, I feel like my chat does often do pretty well on the food quizzes. My chat loves eating, I guess. Felt amazing after running around all day. At first, I'd simply improvised accompaniments on the fortel for her singing. Lacey always had a frightened look on her face, and she was wary of this boy who'd suddenly appeared in her sanctuary. But after I saw how she truly enjoyed singing, I just couldn't leave her alone. The only thing I could do for her was to perform ensembles with her. Elise gradually opened up, and even started smiling. That made me so happy, and I waited at the old wing so many times for her. Ever since then, I grew fonder and fonder of Lise. Because of that, I hurt another girl's feelings. Someone important. Someone who used to be my love. But now I thought everything had worked out fine. I guess my chat is just a bunch of fatties at heart. They may not all actually be fat, but in their heart of hearts. That was the feeling I got when I looked at Lise smiling in front of me.
どうしたんですか?
What's the matter? Sorry, just some random thoughts. Nothing important.
そうですか。でも、優しい顔をしてましたよ。
And gut. Some fat in the gut. Is that so? You had a peaceful look on your face. Really?
はい。
Yes. Lise sounded happy, then she put a rusk in her mouth. I'd baked quite a lot, but Lise had been eating them, it seemed, and the plate was nearly empty. Do you want some more?
あ、いえ、もうお腹いっぱいですから。
No, it's okay. I'm full. You should eat a little more. Lise blushed as if she'd remembered something. I just remembered what happened that day too.
とにかく、今日はどうしましょうか。
Anyway, what are we doing today? Well, how's your throat?
だいぶ良くなったとは思うんですけど。
It feels a lot better, but... As she spoke, she tried producing notes in the style of a vocal exercise. It's okay, don't force yourself. You'll never recover properly if you strain yourself at this point. Varied and versatile diet is what drew you in? Yeah. Indeed. Lise was already coughing and holding her throat as if in pain.
普通に喋るくらいなら、もうなんともないんですけど。
If I just speak normally, I don't feel anything, though.
Let's just relax today, okay? No need to rush things. The graduation recital was scheduled for the 20th of this month. Even though we had barely 2 weeks left, the last time I practiced with her, our music had been nearly complete. Ms. Cordell would probably disagree, but we didn't have trouble with our breathing, which was most important. Lisa had been singing that song all along, so her technique was fine. And even if I couldn't play in perfect sync with Lisa's voice, I'd played that song every day, so I had no shortage of practice. As long as we were able to focus on practicing in the final week, we'd probably be fine. That was how highly I rated her singing ability.
それなんですけど、楽譜を作ろうかと思って。
About that, I thought about making scores, actually.
Ah, right. Even if we don't need them, it'll look bad if we went on stage without scores.
ええ、それに、クリス先輩が作ってくれたフォルテールのアレンジも形にして残しておきたいですから。
Indeed. Moreover, I'd like to have a record of the Fortell arrangement you created for my song.
Well, I wouldn't call it an arrangement exactly.
そんなことないですよ。多分、すごくこの曲に合ってると思います。
Of course it is. I think it's probably an incredible fit for this song.
Speaking of which, what about the original song? I hadn't given it much thought until now, but I probably should have followed that in the first place. Well, that's because the partner issue wasn't relevant at the time. Anyway, if you have the original song score, copying that would be more accurate.
実は、その楽譜なんですけど、今はないんです。だから、私はただ、記憶に残っているのをそのまま歌っているだけなんです。
Actually, about that score, there isn't one now. That's why I've been singing it from memory. Or rather, what's left of it in my memory.
There's no score?
その、ちょっとした理由で、ずっと前から手元になくて。
You see,
実は歌詞も、後から私が適当につけたものなんです。
You see, I lost it a long time ago, for one reason or another. In fact, I just made up the lyrics later too.
You hadn't memorized the lyrics either? That means...
私が子供の頃によく聴いていて、それで覚えて歌っていた曲なんです。
It's a song that I used to hear all the time as a child. That's how I learned to sing it.
I see. Do you remember the name of it at least? If it's in the school archives, we might be able to find it. I'm free in the mornings anyway.
いえ、小さい頃に見た楽譜は一つきりのもので、誰かの直筆みたいでした。だから全然有名とかそういうのじゃないんです。
No. When I was young, I only ever saw one copy of the score. It looked like someone wrote it out by hand. It's not some famous tune, nothing like that.
I see. Well, there's nothing to be done then.
だから今日クリス先輩のフォルテールを聴きながら新しく書き写したいなって思ってたんです。
Impromptu banger coming? Impromptu banger is what the guys down at the truck stop call your mom. Boom! I'm sorry, but also not very sorry. I'm sorry, but only a tiny amount. Exactly, lot lizard, yeah.
And so, I was thinking of writing out a new copy today, while listening to you play the Fortell.
You'll allow it? It's a nice song, though.
ありがとうございます。
Thank you.
いえ、では、私は用意しちゃいますね。
Nothing. I'll get ready then.
Lise thanked me for some reason as if I praised her instead, and then she looked away bashfully as she prepared. She placed a pen and brand new music sheets on the desk and looked at me.
どうぞ。聞きながら映してしまいますから。
Whenever you're ready, I'll transcribe as I listen.
We did something like this during class, I think. I was terrible at it.
私は嫌いじゃないですよ。
I don't dislike it.
In that case, I'll play with a little extra effort.
はい。頑張ってください。
Okay, go ahead.
頑張れ
Do your best!
Thank you, Forney. This was the only song which Forney couldn't sing along to. She had never heard the vocal part before, and even I couldn't really recall the lyrics at that point. From her usual spot by the window, Forney serenely listened to me play the Fortell, her wings fluttering gently. I, on the other hand, I'd say my playing so far had been carefree rather than careless, but once I started thinking about being transcribed, I got a little nervous. Lisa Simpson is the Lizard Queen. But then again, I'd had the fundamentals of it in my head from the very beginning, so I wasn't short on practice. My fingers moved by themselves, and without my awareness, the song headed to its conclusion with great certainty. For a moment, it seemed Lise was really going to sing. Perhaps she wasn't aware of it earlier, but before any note was produced, she'd started coughing. I was about to stop playing and ask if she was okay, but Lise seemed to react quite strongly to that, and stopped me with one look. I went back to focusing on the song, while Lise returned to the score in front of her.
That was great.
You did well too. There were 2 scores, freshly transcribed, before Lise's eyes. Lise spent the rest of the afternoon on them, probably because she was trying to faithfully reproduce the score from memory. Expressing in symbols the parts that she usually ad-libbed was quite a taxing process.
できましたね。では、一つはクリス先輩に。
Done. This one's for you, Chris.
Thanks. Lise's personality came out clearly in the score's neatly written letters and symbols. Her upbringing was also evident at times like these.
もう一つは私が。
And this one is for me.
Lise held the score to her chest, almost embracing it. That girlish gesture seemed very appropriate for her.
では、今日はここまでにしますか？
Well, shall we call it a day?
Sure. If you stay out too late, they might find out.
はい。
Indeed.
For the past 2 days, Lise had come over after school ended, so she'd stayed a little later. But today was a day off, so we had been able to spend more than enough time together. All that was left was for her throat to get better. Even though almost everyone would disapprove of it, our partnership was also going unexpectedly well. We just had to nail the actual performance, and Lise would win the recognition of her friends. It was unlikely that she'd be able to express herself fully otherwise. Looking at his attitude toward music, I was sure that Grave would accept her too, as long as she produced results. With these somewhat optimistic thoughts, I decided to focus for now on the upcoming recital. Alright, let's head out before it gets dark.
はい。
Okay.
Canada also has $1 coins. And $2 coins. Our $1 coins are called loonies because there's a Canadian loon on them. And then our $2 coins are called toonies because they're $2. And just to make it rhyme with loony. We have dollar coins, but not popular. Well, hopefully that'll be the next currency change in the US. You know, like, credit where it's due, Trump did get rid of the penny, which, long overdue. Long overdue getting rid of the penny. So next is getting rid of, is replacing $1 bills with $1 coins. One of those things that, like, when it does happen, and it will happen eventually, it's only a matter of time before that happens. When it happens, a lot of people are going to complain a lot about it. But within like 2 or 3 years, nobody will give a shit about the dollar bills anymore. I feel like I remember that happening up here in Canada. Because I'm pretty sure... I feel like the loonie was brought in when I was a kid. Pretty sure. Pretty sure we still had $1 bills when I was a kid. And then... you know, when it was replaced with the coin, there was definitely a lot of people who got mad about it. But they got over it. And then when the $2 bill was replaced with a $2 coin, again, a lot of people, or, you know, fair number of people were mad about it. I do remember a lot of people like, well, what are we gonna put in strippers? What are we gonna put in strippers' thongs now? I remember that was a very common line. A lot of people made that comment. Anyway, sharing one umbrella, the two of us walked along narrow streets. Little coins at him? Yeah. Walking Lise home was something I always did whenever she came over to my place. We've had $1 coins for ages. It's cheaper to print a paper dollar than using metal. Things I'm pretty sure the paper bills, because of the fact that, first of all, easier to counterfeit. Second, they wear out really quickly. You know, a coin can be in circulation forever. Just eternally. Paper wears out. It gets filthy. You know, it gets dirty, it gets torn, it's, you know. They need to be replaced. So long term, it actually does cost more. Ours are pretty. Yeah! Americans laugh at our Monopoly money. Ooh, look, it's so colorful, Monopoly money. It is very difficult to give someone a 20 instead of a 5 up here. Like, it's real tough to mix up bills up here. Too expensive for a counterfeiter to make a dollar bill? Nah, okay, fair enough. Fair enough, I suppose. But there is still the issue that, like I said, filthy. They really spread disease. Like, bills are a great way of spreading disease. Dollar bills especially, because they're just always circulating, always changing hands. They get filthy, just covered in bacteria. So they spread disease, and they wear out. A coin doesn't. And yeah, coins get circulated a lot too, but because of the way they're manufactured, they don't carry the bacteria quite as effectively as a paper bill does. So, might take another 20 years, but I do think that sooner or later the US will switch to dollar coins. Like, they'll get rid of the dollar bill. I do think sooner or later they're going to get rid of the dollar bill. Best hope, honestly, is for a Republican president to do it. Yeah, if a Democratic president does it, then the Republican Party will just throw an absolute fucking fit over it. If a Republican president does it, some still will, but fewer. Or the top cashier feeders, they use plastic. Yeah. Yeah, a lot of people do use plastic now. Anyway, nothing was more important to me right now than the time spent like this, being close to her. Are you getting rained on?
はい。大丈夫です。
Huh? No, I'm okay.
I noticed that Lisa's shoulder was slightly exposed, so I tilted the umbrella. She didn't have a fever, but her throat was still sore. I remembered how she'd coughed when she tried to sing earlier, and I got a little worried. I was used to the rain, so it didn't matter to me. That's good.
はい。
Indeed.
Lisa moved over just the tiniest bit, closing the distance between us. We hadn't put into words yet the feelings we had for each other. Even so, Lise had to have noticed, and I was able to tell how she felt too. I also knew that it wasn't a misunderstanding. In short, we just hadn't found the right time for it. I didn't have the right words either for the present setting. But the time would come, and the words would come naturally, on the day of the graduation recital perhaps, or even after that. Until then, the relationship we'd had so far would suffice. I tilted the umbrella a little more toward Lise's side as we continued walking to her home.
Well then, thank you very much for walking me home.
Close the umbrella, beat her with it, and take her money, then run. No! She probably doesn't have that much money of her own. Her family's rich. Don't mention it. I hope you get better soon.
Yes.
I didn't mean it that way. I just really want you to feel better soon. Also, hi, Positive. Lise had cast her eyes down, so I tried to cheer her up. She regretted not being able to practice. I could see it in her expression.
It's okay.
Anyway, take care of yourself.
Yes, I will.
She might have a dollar coin. Well, here's your umbrella. I made Lise take it so she wouldn't get wet when she came over. Our notes have braille bumps on them too. I wouldn't be surprised if I would expect US money probably does too. I would think US money probably does have the braille on it. She seemed pleased to receive it, then she went inside. I watched her go in, and then I headed home. When I got home, it was already dark outside. Before entering the room, I peeked inside the mailbox. There was nothing there, just a great big empty space. For some reason, I found it indescribably depressing. I wasn't writing letters to Ari anymore, so that was entirely expected. Raised ink on them. Yeah, it's probably braille. There wasn't anything I could say to Ari either. It was the path I'd chosen, but I couldn't stop this feeling of desolation. I have a feeling we won't be finishing Lise's path tonight. Today I woke up around 12 and proceeded to have a refined afternoon. I played around in the Fortel, joining Forney in various ensembles. As I waited for Lise, time passed quickly. Even if she was taking her time walking here after class, it was about time for her to appear.
There she is.
Yes. Sorry to keep you waiting, Lise.
Chris-senpai.
Well, that's not a good start.
Chris.
Lise stood in front of the door, looking unhappy. Her expression was glum, completely different from last night. Lise? She held the umbrella in her hand, as always. Her clothes were dry, and she didn't seem ill. The bandage around her neck was still the same brilliant shade of white. But I got the impression that she was withdrawing into herself, like the first time we met. What's wrong?
Nothing. It's just...
Come inside first.
Okay.
Did something else happen? Just when everything seemed right, something had to go wrong. Lise's demeanor was unusually stiff. She looked like she'd gone back to how she used to be. Sit in. Do you want to talk?
わからないんです。
I don't get it.
Don't get it? What?
わからないんです。
I don't get it.
In a daze, Lise kept repeating that line and looked away from me as if she were afraid. Lise? I didn't get it either, whatever it was. I couldn't think of anything to ask her in this state. She seemed to be the most confused of us all.
歌えないんです。
You see, I can't sing.
What do you mean? At long last, something resembling a reason came out of Lise's mouth. Murphy's Law, yep.
歌えないんです。わからないんです。
I can't sing. I don't get it.
Lise went back to her earlier line. What couldn't she sing? You can't sing at all?
はい。授業で、歌の実習があったんですが。
Yes. During class there was a practice session, but...
Does your throat still hurt?
それは、ないんです。もう、昨日の時点で、ほとんど痛みはなかったんです。
No, that's not it. There's been virtually no pain since yesterday.
Then what's going on? The cold must have damaged her throat.
それが、わからないんです。
That's just it. I don't get it.
You have nodules? But have you seen a doctor?
いえ。
No.
If your throat still feels funny, then you...
違うんです。
That's not it.
All of a sudden, Lise raised her voice. I heard what she said loud and clear, so there didn't seem to be anything wrong with her throat. So?
だから、クリス先輩、フォルテールを弾いてもらえませんか？先輩のフォルテールなら。
Chris, can you play the fortelle for me? If I just heard it, maybe...
I can play anytime. Right now, there's more...
お願いします。
Please.
Lise?
お願いします。
Please, I beg you.
With tears in her eyes, Lise pleaded.
クリス？リセ、どうしちゃったの？
Chris, what's wrong with Lise?
The moment of silence was interrupted by Forney. I actually felt a little relieved. A little of Lise's anxiety had rubbed off on me, but hearing Forney made me calm down. Not that I could respond to her, of course. I just need something to dislodge it. I looked at her and gave a small nod.
ねえ、なんでだかわからないけど、弾いてあげたら？
Hey, I'm really not sure what's going on, but what if you played for her?
Lise sounded so desperate, something must have been bothering her. Before identifying the cause, perhaps it was better for now to get rid of her anxiety. Alright, I'll play right now. Tyler WTF? I mean, Buttercup did remind Uncle Buck a few minutes beforehand. So I hope Uncle Buck took Buttercup's notification seriously. I hope she paid attention. Alright, I'll play right now. I was already prepared. Oh, you took it and you're happy? All I had to do was sit down and press the keys. Lisa, that's what you want, right?
お願いします。
Please.
With a vague sense of worry, I started playing the Fortelle. Lisa had closed her eyes and was trying to take in all the sounds. I felt a little relieved and continued to play. Then... just before the vocal part, Lisa made some humming noises and then started coughing. Lisa!
先輩
Chris.
Lisa backed away from me, shaking her head emphatically. It's just that your throat's still recovering, right? Probably not. Looking at Lisa, I could tell now that wasn't the time for that. But that was all I could say. By the way, how does it look? I was curious about the bandage and reached out for her neck.
No.
Shots fired everywhere, most of them are missing. Lisa screamed and pushed my hand away. There was terror in her eyes for some reason. She needs to take her bandage off, is joking. I'm starting to wonder if our earlier choking theory might have actually been correct. Lisa. I'm starting to wonder if the bandage was actually covering some choke. Yep, some... Wait! I ran after her immediately. But in my haste, I was tripping all over myself. Through the endless rain, I tried to determine which way Lisa had gone. Her home, perhaps, or the street leading to school. I looked back and forth between the two, but couldn't see any sign of her. Lisa! Which path should I pick? I didn't have time for this. I needed to make a decision right away. So I picked a place where she would have to return to eventually. I kept scanning my surroundings even as I ran. The hickey, she just doesn't want him to know she got some other man. Yeah, maybe. It was a weekday afternoon, so there was hardly anyone out. Running through the city, I looked for any sign of Lisa. Her condition didn't seem that bad at all, or perhaps that had just been my misunderstanding. It was even preventing her from singing, apparently. Worried that she may have collapsed on the street somewhere, I reduced my speed somewhat. She's into BDSM, it's always the quiet ones. Makes sense. Session got a little too intense. Was it better for me to run straight toward her home? Or should I be checking to see if Lisa had fallen down somewhere along the way? Even as I considered these options, my eyes were still looking out for her. On street corners, under shop awnings. At a speed slightly faster than regular walking, I entered the new district. Then, I finally saw Lisa toward the beyond the fence surrounding her home. Her back was toward me. I probably wouldn't be allowed inside. A few more steps and I'd be on their property. I didn't know what would happen, but perhaps someone would come out and detain me. But all I was able to see, somehow, was Lisa walking unsteadily to the front door and disappearing inside the house. I felt some relief knowing that she had managed to get home. There, she wouldn't meet with any accidents, and people were around to help her. At the very least, collapsing in the street and other such misfortunes had been avoided. Lisa. damn it. However, I couldn't be optimistic about the current situation. Why wasn't Lisa able to sing? She didn't get it either. It was natural to think that her throat was the cause, that Lisa herself denied it. What bothered me was the fact that that bandage was still around her throat even after a whole week. It was unlikely that I would see her again today. And it was unlikely that Lisa would come over tomorrow. So what should I do? What could I do for her sake? That was all I thought about as I walked in the rain. My only choice was to go to school tomorrow. If I asked Miss Cordell, perhaps she could tell me about Lisa's homeroom and classes. I'd be able to approach her between classes. If that was impossible, then at least I could wait on campus for her to appear after the end of all classes. Yes, I definitely had to go to school tomorrow. How much you want to bet Lisa's gonna skip tomorrow? I hadn't slept well last night, perhaps because of what happened yesterday. But even if I had to drag my heavy, sleep-deprived self there, I had to go to school. It was only natural for me to think of asking Miss Cordell about Lisa. Even if she couldn't tell me anything concrete, that was fine. I just needed to know which class she belonged to. Cursed or lightly poisoned. In the end, I had to speak to her personally. When I arrived at the classroom, Miss Cordell was seated deep in her chair reading a book and looking quite free.
クリスか。今日はどうした？フォルテールを持っていないところを見ると、練習でもなさそうだな。
Is that you, Chris? What's the matter? I don't see a fortale, so I'm guessing it's not about practice. There's something I want to ask you.
なんだ？わざわざここまで来るとは。
What is it? To think you came all this way for it? Miss Cordell turned to look at me with a somewhat serious expression. Do you know what class Licelcia is in? Family conspiracy? Probably.
それがどうかしたのか？
And what happened with her? We had a bit of a falling out. Regardless of the truth of that statement, there was no way I could have explained the actual situation properly. That was because neither Lisa nor I knew exactly what was going on.
またいきなりだな。それで謝りに行くのか？
That's rather sudden. Are you going to apologize to her? More or less.
リセルシアは、確か1年のフォルテール科の第2クラスだったはずだ。確か今なら、科の掲示板に時間割が貼ってあるはずだ。楽器の始まりだからな。
Let's see. Licelcia should be in homeroom 1B of the first year Fortell course. And you'll find the timetable on the bulletin board. It's the start of the school term after all. Thank you very much.
こんな時期に仲違いとはな。一体何をやらかしたんだ？
Anquayan, for fuck's sake. To have a falling out now, though, at this time. What exactly did you do to her? Who knows? I'd like to find out myself.
自覚がないとはな。まあいい。残り時間は少ないぞ。そのまま終わることのないように。
Watching on your TV screen? No self-awareness, huh? Anyway, there isn't much time left. Don't mess it up. I'll do my best.
一応、とは言わないんだな。
You didn't say for now. For now, I'm being very serious.
ならいい。さ、チャイムが鳴る前に急げ。
Good. Now hurry before the bell rings. Got it. Indeed, your insight was torture chamber. I rushed to take a look at the timetable for first-year Fortel students. Second period on Monday was Harmony class in Lecture Room C. First-year students had to take all classes, but since it was related to singing, Lise was even less likely to miss it. Things were looking up, and I went back to the first hall. Looking in from outside, I didn't see any sign of Lise. Even if I asked someone, I wondered if they would know. The bell hadn't rung yet, so I was free to enter the lecture room. Still, a student from another year would probably cause surprise, or at least be viewed with some puzzlement. I wasn't that concerned about decorum and stuff, but I was worried that I might cause Lise some consternation. While doing my best not to stand out, I approached a student who was entering the lecture room. Excuse me. The class was about to begin, so the girl who tried to walk past me was in a hurry. Under normal circumstances, I would have never been able to speak to a stranger like that. But I had no other choice right now. Is this homeroom 1B of the first year Fortel course?
Hi.
Yes. It's not that one, but I'm spiraling. I just wanted to ask, is there a Licelsia Cesarini in your class?
Hi.
Yeah. Was she in school for the first period?
わかりません。でも多分今日は見てないんじゃないですか?
I don't know, but I don't think I've seen her today. Once she heard Lise's name, her demeanor changed completely. Each grade had its own colored necktie, so she probably could tell that I was her senior. That, in addition to the fact that I was asking about Lise, was probably why she sounded a little irritated, as if I wasn't worth her time.
失礼します。
Excuse me, I need to go. She gave a slight bow, then she went inside the lecture room. I couldn't follow her inside, so I looked around the room once more through the back door. Even from the back, I was sure I could identify Lise. That was the only thing I was sure of. She wasn't there. Having confirmed that, I headed to the cafeteria to pass the time. Of course, there was no sign of Lise in the cafeteria. It was nothing more than force of habit that made me come all the way here. I looked around the cafeteria once and decided to leave. Even if I'd met Torta there, I couldn't say anything to her now. What happened to Lise? Even if Torta asked me that, I'd probably say nothing and just make her worry even more. Outside, it was still a quiet morning. Does it have a tiny neck? Can I have a busted lip next? But the sound of the pouring rain stayed in my ears and wouldn't fade away. I looked all over school yesterday, but I didn't see any sign of Lise. That meant she had been absent from school for 3 days in a row. But still, I had no choice but to roam around the... Oh. Whoops, The Resk is holding it up. Ah, no. Okay, that's what I wanted to see. Still had no choice but to roam around the school, believing that Lise would appear. Between classes, I went to homeroom 1B to ask if Lise had shown up, and during classes I looked elsewhere. After several rounds of this, I found myself standing in front of the old wing. I stepped outside because it was lunchtime and Torta might have been on campus. Stalker? He is kind of a stalker. At this point, I had no idea what to say to her if I saw her. I'm sure I look desperate right now, and Torta would instantly suspect something was wrong. But I had come to this place almost unconsciously. I tried the front door, but just as Ms. Cordell had said some time back, it was locked. I stood there doing nothing until the end of lunch, then I went back to the main building. Come to think of it, today was the day for Grave's lecture. We had both been eliminated at the second lecture, so there wasn't supposed to be anyone in Lecture Room B now. But when I walked past Lecture Room B, I heard the faint sounds of the Fortell. Perhaps Grave was composing something alone, just as Ms. Cordell told me. For a moment I thought that this had nothing to do with Lise, but then I realized that the opposite was far likelier. Why wasn't she able to sing? What was making her think that way? And why hadn't it occurred to me before that Grave was involved somehow? I quietly opened the door, which was at the back of the lecture room, and peeked inside. I was acting suspiciously, but the hallways were empty because everyone was having classes. And the third years who didn't have class were almost all in the practice rooms.
どうした?お前の好きなあの曲を弾かせてやると言っているんだ。もっと嬉しそうな顔をしたらどうだ?
What? I said you could play that song of yours that you like so much. Shouldn't you look a little happier?
The sound of Lise's Fortell reverberated throughout the narrow lecture room. It seemed powerful enough to throw the doors open and stop me from entering. If I had to describe the emotion in that sound in one word, it would be sadness. Ms. Cordell and Forney had called it a love song, but all I could hear in it was a tragic melody. Then, there was also something tragic about her playing the Fortell. That guy's The Walking Dead. I mean, his name is Grave. The cane attached to Lise's chin was pressing against her throat and causing her a lot of pain. Even so, it didn't look like she would stop playing the Fortell. That must have been one of Grave's methods, as Lise didn't show any sign of resistance. Choked her with a stick. Yeah, looks like that is probably what happened. That's why she doesn't want the throat. That's why she doesn't want to remove the bandage, is because there's almost certainly a mark from the cane there. As I watched them, the song went on. When I realized that, I opened the door forcefully. I walked slowly toward them in an attempt to control my emotions. You appreciate this, and me? Thank you, Shelley. No one scolded me for my act of disrespect, however. What are you doing?
個人レッスンだ。せっかくこの講義のために時間を空けておいたが、教えるべき生徒がいないのでな。有効利用させてもらっている。
A private lesson. I had set aside this time for a lecture, but I didn't have any students to teach, so I decided to make good use of it.
And what is that cane for? It has no relevance to the lesson, right? Kiss ass. After some moments, Grave seemed to relax his grip on the cane that pressed against her throat. No, that wasn't it. He suddenly flexed his arm, causing Lise to cry out and almost bend over backward.
いい音楽はいい姿勢から生まれる。背筋を伸ばすため、これは必要なことなのだよ。
Good music comes from good posture. This is necessary for straightening the spine.
You're mad! Not a phrase you would hear, not a phrase you expect to see in a game about music. In a game about, like, a music school. You're mad! That was so loud, even I was surprised.
お前に何がわかる?黙っていろ。
What do you know? Be quiet.
Lise, let's go. You can't be here.
出て行くのはお前だ。 クリス・ベルティン。
The only one leaving here is you, Chris Verten.
Grave finally removed the cane from Lisei's throat and turned to face me.
何しに来たんだ。お前はもう講義を受ける資格を失っている。
Why did you come here? You are no longer qualified to attend this lecture.
Lisei?
ごめんなさい。ごめんなさい。私。
I'm sorry.
It's okay. We can talk later.
リセルシア。
Licelsia.
はい。
Yes.
私はこの無礼な若者と少し話がある。少し出ていなさい。30分後にここに戻るように。
I have something to say to this insolent boy. Leave us, and return in half an hour.
はい。
Yes.
Lisei!
ごめんなさい。
Stockholm Syndrome. I mean, aside from Stockholm Syndrome kind of being bullshit, not quite. Half an hour? Yeah, I guess he's got a real lecture for me. Like, he's her father and she's, you know, young. And, you know, dependent on him. And, you know, he's her father. Even if he's abusive, that's the sort of shit, yeah, it's tough to... He's still her dad. Lisei headed for the exit, her eyes resolutely downcast.
クリス・ベルティン、光栄に思いたまえ。私がわざわざ時間を割いて話をしようとするなど、めったにないことだ。
Chris Verten. Consider this an honor. I so rarely take the time to speak to anyone these days.
Artwork is so different between the characters. Some of them, yeah. When I ignored him and tried to chase after Lisei, he spoke again.
リセルシアはもう歌えない。諦めることだ。
Licelsia can't sing anymore. Give up.
It was a throwaway line. He was mocking me. But somehow it also carried a firm note of conviction. It was obvious that he knew our relationship had reached the point of partnership. In that case, how could he be so certain? And it bothered me that he'd said can't sing, not won't. What do you mean? There was nothing polite about my tone of voice. I could go after Lisei any time. And unlike the last encounter, she would probably return here. I was sickened by Grave's words and his attitude, but for now it was better to talk to him.
そのままの意味だ。聞き分けの悪い子でな。少々きつめのしつけが必要だったが、しかし効果はあったようだ。
The meaning is clear. Wayward children need to be disciplined with a slightly heavier hand, but it seems to have worked.
Discipline?
まったく。チェザリーニの名を継ぐ者が、君のようなものと一緒にアンサンブルをするなんて信じられん。
Good grief. It beggars belief that the heir to the Cesarini name would perform an ensemble with one such as you.
What kind of discipline?
しかも魔力という資質があるにもかかわらず、ホルテールを弾かずに歌など歌っているようでは、将来が不安で仕方がないな。
And, in spite of her gift of magic, her electing to sing instead of playing the fortelle placed her future in jeopardy. so there was no other choice.
Mr. Cesarini, do you mind answering the question?
ポルテールを弾くのに喉などいらないだろう？何？それほどのことをしたわけではない。ほんの少し力を入れただけだ。それでことは足りた。
One doesn't need a throat to play the fortel, surely. Oh, it wasn't anything extreme. Just a little pressure was applied, and it was enough.
Rave brought both hands up to the level of his eyes. He made a small circle with his fingers, as if he were holding something. Something as thick as a human neck.
その前でやめておけばよかったものを、そこまでやらせたリセルシアの頭が悪すぎた。
It was foolish of Lycelsia to have pursued this enterprise, when she should have given it up the first time.
He had a vocal cord cut. Not cut! No, he just squeezed. No, he literally choked her. He's saying, what he's saying is that he literally choked her. Just hard enough to cause some damage. Or not just hard enough, but hard enough to cause some damage. Because this guy's a fucking psycho! Like I said, fuck the rich. That was my first guess, but it sounded like it got worse. Nope, it was... Indeed, Shelley.
It was foolish of Lycelsia to have pursued this enterprise, when she should have given it up the first time.
What are you talking about? First time?
ポルテール奏者には究極的には足もいらないのだよ。椅子に座っていればいいのだからな。
Strictly speaking, a fortel player has no need for feet either. All she has to do is sit in a chair.
So he was the one who hurt her leg as well? As if he'd made a brilliant joke, Rave could barely stifle his laughter. Slowly, the meaning of what he'd said sank in. I had some recollection of those words. But I still couldn't believe it. Was that really something a parent could do? She's your daughter.
書類上ではな。
On paper, yes.
拾ってきたんだよ。孤児院から。私の後継者になるべく育て上げるために。そのための子供だ。何をためらう必要がある。
She was picked up from the orphanage, to be groomed to become my successor. That was her purpose. What cause do I have for hesitation?
What you've done is a crime. It's only a crime if you're poor.
それでどうするかね。お前の言葉など誰も聞かないだろう。でなければこんな話はしない。
So, what will you do? No one's going to listen to you, or else I wouldn't be telling you all this.
これで分かっただろう。お前とリセルシアでは何もかもが違う。関わらない方が身のためだ。
You understand now, of course. Lycelsia and you are completely different. It would be best not to get involved.
I mean, if I'm Chris, I'm just going around like, hey, so, had a conversation with Grabe, and hey, here's, some fucked up shit. And people are like, he wouldn't do that, and I'd be like, he's rich, he's arrogant, and he's an asshole. What makes you think he wouldn't do fucked up shit? Yep. You hear 2 sentences out of his mouth. You're gonna be like, oh, no, that tracks. That absolutely tracks. Yeah, I could absolutely believe that he'd be the type to physically abuse his kid. Been bandages, so there's proof. Everyone's been strangled by their dad at least once. I'm like, yeah, a lot of people still aren't going to believe it. A lot of people aren't going to care one way or the other. But some people are going to believe it. Rumors will spread. And that's going to hurt his reputation. And that's the only thing that he gives a shit about. Is his reputation, his legacy. That is not for you to say. I'll decide for myself.
どちらの身のためにならないかは、私は言及した覚えはないな。
I don't remember saying for whom it would be best.
You intend to do something else to Lise?
必要があればな。
If the need arises.
It seemed I had misunderstood him all this time. A great musician who looked stern, but who also held music in the highest regard. But who was he really? What stood before me was nothing but a mad nobleman. Vilely domineering, insensitive, and utterly pompous. Whether it was our country's systems or our culture which produced such people, I didn't know. But I had lost all interest in this person before me.
どうだね。わかったのかね。
So, do you finally understand?
I understand you're a piece of shit who belongs in prison. Believe you deserve to get your ass beat. This time, I totally ignored him and walked out of the lecture room. I heard something behind me that sounded like a scolding, but I didn't care. Lise. Where was she now? The place she always went to when escaping from Grave. But it was locked. There was no way to get inside. Which meant she was probably waiting in the rain. I never doubted that she would be there. Every muddy step I took across the rain-soaked ground was bringing me closer to her. There was still no sign of Lise. But she was here. Lise. Licelsia.
Senpai.
Chris.
Lise was leaning against the door of the old wing, shivering from the cold. Let's go back. To my room.
戻る？そう、戻らなくちゃ。
Go back? Yes, I must go back.
お父様が。
Father will...
Lise!
ごめんなさい。 ごめんなさい。もう歌いませんから。もう逆らいませんから。
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I won't sing again. I won't defy you again.
Lise wasn't looking at my face. Shaking her head in fear, she kept apologizing over and over again. Lise, listen to me. You don't have to go back to Grave ever again. Let's go to my place.
ごめんなさい。もう二度と歌いませんから。
I'm sorry. I won't sing again ever.
Still looking down, Lise kept going, sounding almost delirious. To make her look at me, I touched her shoulder.
No!
Lise! I was no longer afraid of her reaction. Bravely, I held onto her shoulder and made her look at me. Then, our eyes met. Obey Chris now, bitch!
先輩。
Chris.
Listen carefully. You will not go back to Grave. Sing whatever, however you want. I won't let anyone hurt you again. Will you come with me?
でも。
It's getting deep, kinda.
But...
Lise backed away as if she was afraid of me, but there was nowhere to go. There was a solid door just behind her. She couldn't run from me or anyone else. In a panic, she had pressed her hands against her neck. I walked up to Lise, gently held her arms, and got her to release her grip on her neck. As if clinging on to Lise's white skin, that bandage asserted its presence. It was hiding her injuries, I was sure of it.
やめて。見ないでください。
Stop. Don't look.
I won't stop. Show me.
いや。
No.
Betraying her words, Lise's arms were already hanging limp by her side, and she made no attempt to stop me. Unwinding the bandage revealed 2 reddish-black bruises in the shape of hands. Gulp. I cringed at the sight and felt a great pang of guilt. If only I hadn't asked her. If only I hadn't thought of making Lise my partner, none of this would have happened. Everything will be okay as long as you obey? No, that wasn't true. She had trembled when she said those words. I won't sing again, ever. Those were probably words she had learned to say all the time. Or perhaps they were a reflex for when that old man taught her his so-called discipline. With or without my involvement, Lise's fate would probably have been the same. That was how unhinged Grave was. Lise. With the gentlest of gestures, I touched her neck. For just one moment, Lise shuddered in fear. It's okay. It's going to be okay. Lightly, I traced the outline of her bruises, then I held the back of her neck. Then I embraced Lise. Lise didn't put up any resistance at all. Lise. Licelsia.
先輩。
I'm sorry. I won't let anyone hurt you again.
でも、私は。
But
You've got me. Aw. How romantic. I couldn't think of anything else to say. Instead, I held her even more tightly in my arms. So that she would believe what I said. So that she understood my feelings for her.
クリス、先輩。
Hey, she actually called us by name this time. The rest of the time she's been calling us senpai. You know, she's always just called us senpai, which, elder. This is her first time calling us Chris. Though she still added senpai on top of it, but that time, Lise said my name clearly. And her arms, which had been hanging by her side, went around my waist. Lise, I love you.
私もです。
I'm not crying, you're crying.
Me too.
Now kiss. We got to kiss the girl. Oh hey! We held each other in the rain for a while, exchanging numerous kisses. We got to kiss the girl. It's been so long since I heard that song, I don't actually remember the melody. The rain kept falling, as if to wash away both her tears and my sins. Oh, now we're gonna end up living together? In this tiny little apartment? Well, well. After that, I went back to my room with Lise. Lise was currently asleep in my bed. I had put up her rain-soaked uniform on a hanger to dry. Dressed only in one of my shirts, Lise was in a safe place now, asleep, where nothing could hurt her. Ooh, wearing one of his shirts now! That's romance right there.
何があったの?
Something happened? You could say that. Forney had been silent all this time, waiting until Lise fell asleep. Sexy? I mean, kinda. I was grateful, but somehow I couldn't find the words to express it. I thought about Grave, about Lise's injuries. Trying to put all that into words made my heart wrench.
包帯、ほどけかけてたけど、傷があったよ。
Damn, Lise and Chris's bed. Yep. The bandage was partly undone. There were bruises. Yeah. Forney was starting to understand the situation. How Lise had behaved until now. The injuries around her neck. There was no way to cover them up, nor was there any desire to. I'll start from the beginning, about everything that happened today. This is a trauma bond. Indeed, trauma bonding. Nothing bonds people like trauma. I moved Forney down from her usual spot by the window to the desk. I sank into my chair and looked Forney straight in the eye. I have to start by talking about Grave. I told Forney everything. As she listened, Forney's expression turned to one of deep sorrow, and she gradually ran out of responses. But I had a duty to keep talking, and she had a right to listen. And that's why I brought Lise back here. Uh-huh. Honestly, I haven't decided what to do from now on. Uh-huh. Things might get a little troublesome from now on. I might not be able to tell you everything that happens. But I hope that's okay?
私が嫌だって言ったら、やめてくれるの?
If I said it wasn't, would you change your mind? Why do I have to go? Very soon, yeah. As soon as we finish this scene, probably. Well, that's... getting together with a guy to get out of the house. Yep. Best way to leave an abusive relationship? Jump into a relationship with a dude you barely know.
嘘。ちょっとからかいたくなっただけ。もちろんいいに決まってるでしょ?
I'm kidding. I just wanted to put you on the spot. Of course it's okay. Now's not the time for...
私を信用してないクリスが悪いんじゃない。
Hey, it's your fault for not trusting me, Chris.
一言、そうなったからって報告してくれればいいの。これでも、 クリスとの付き合いは長いんだからね。その辺は分かってるって。
You just have to tell me what the current situation is, that's all. We've been together a long time, so I understand.
Forney, thanks.
お礼はいいって。とにかく、リゼが起きたら、私はあまり出ないようにするね。
No need to thank me. Oh, and when Lisei's awake, I'll try not to appear.
I mean, why not introduce Forney to Lisa? Like, why not introduce Lisa to Forney? Like, why not be like, oh, by the way, I got a fairy in my bedroom? Yeah, we like to do songs together. We like to perform together. No, all I meant was that I wouldn't be able to answer you out loud.
お熱い二人の邪魔はできないもんね。
I don't want to get in the way of your youthful passions.
Forney, wing-womaning up here. Forney.
違うの？
Am I wrong?
No.
なら、遠慮なんてしない。
Sir Thriver.
Well then, don't hold back.
Our fairy just told us to make sweet, sweet love. You shouldn't show such unnecessary concern either, you know.
本当にいらないならそうするけど。
If it were really unnecessary, I wouldn't. Then don't.
ダメ。クリスは良くても、リセがダメだから。
No way. Even if you're fine with it, Lise wouldn't be. And why would Lise worry about you, Forney?
私のことを気にしてるクリスを気にするのよ。口ではどう言ったとしても、クリスは私を無視できないでしょうから、それが一番いいのよ。
Because she'd worry about you worrying about me. You may say one thing, Chris, but I'm sure you won't be able to ignore me. So this is for the best.
Look, I said...
これは決定だから、クリスの意見は聞きません。じゃ、またね。
I've decided, so your opinion will be ignored. See you later.
I like that. I like the honesty. I like the honesty there, and your opinion will be ignored. Forney! I held my breath in case that shit woke up Lise, who was sleeping right behind me. But Lise was still fast asleep and breathing serenely. I breathed a sigh of relief. Forney, whenever you feel like appearing, just do so. It's okay. I said that in a whisper and told myself that Forney probably heard me. So this game is actually a lot longer than I thought. Because we still got 3 more routes to do. So hopefully next week will be the end of this route. I'd like to finish this route eventually, for fuck's sake. So yeah, I expect... Hopefully next week we'll finish up with Lise. And then, like I said, 3 more routes. We gotta do Foul, we gotta do Torta, and once we've done the 3 of them, that opens one final... I think. Or maybe there is a 4th route, though that one seems to be very, very short. Because this guy does a Alfine route. Alfine. We did Torta? No, we did not do Torta. We did Arietta. Torts. So yeah, the route that we've already done was the bad route, which is Arietta, which is for some reason the bad route. I don't know why that would be the bad route. So yeah. Next week, we continue with Lise. We will continue with Lise until morale. No, for now, I need to get these lights off because they're hot. I think the lights are like making me hotter. So I gotta get these lights off and cool down a little bit. So thanks for watching. And tomorrow is trivia. So for the people who are watching but who haven't commented, who aren't commenting, tomorrow is trivia. So feel free to come join for trivia. And yeah, let us know how you do with that. But for now, thanks for watching. Good night, everybody.